first thing that came to me was the audio tape, which he sent to me in January of 2004. He didn't call me and let me know that he was sending it, but one day I just checked my mail, to pick up my mail, and there was a package from my father. There was no explanation of what was on this tape, so I just put the tape in my cassette recorder, and in it he outlines his knowledge of the conspiracy, which was codenamed The Big Event.
I was a bench warmer on it, and I had a reputation for honesty. I think it's essential to refocus on what this information that I've been providing you, and you alone, by the way, consists of. What is important in the story is that we've backtracked the chain of command up through Cordmeyer and laying the doings at the doorstep of LBJ.
He was sick, and he wrote this out, as you can see by the handwriting, with great difficulty. It's a little hard to read some of it, but at the top here we have the initials LBJ, which of course was a vice president at the time. Below this we have Cordmeyer, who was a CIA officer. Below that we have named David Morales, who was also a CIA, I don't know if he was official CIA, but I'm certainly heard his name before in relation to contract work that he did with the CIA. I think he was a pretty serious guy, a guy capable of doing just about anything. And to the right, the next name is Bill Harvey, who was a very flamboyant CIA man, carried around a couple pistols in his belt at all times, was a heavy drinker. And below at the bottom it says French gunman Grassy Knoll.
I mean, you've said now that David Phillips apparently met with Oswald in Mexico City before the assassination. You've said that Bill Harvey may very well have recruited a French or Corsican gunman to shoot. And you've also said that Cordmeyer had a motive in that his wife was having an affair with John F. Kennedy.
I heard from Frank that LBJ had designated Cordmeyer Jr. to undertake a larger organization while keeping it totally secret. I think that LBJ settled on Meyer as an opportunist, Perrin like himself of Perrin, and a man who had very little left to him in life ever since JFK had taken Cord's wife as one of his mistresses, and of course could not number Cordmeyer among JFK's admirers. Quite the contrary.
So now you have 3 CIA officials who had, let's say, the means, motive, and opportunity, or some connection to kill Kennedy.
That's true.
But Johnson, as we all know, was a very corrupt president.
Yeah.
Very capable of doing evil deeds, don't you think? Unquestionably. And if he wanted something done, he may have turned to someone like Bill Harvey,
right,
who was also extremely corrupt, right, and a psycho, basically.
Yeah. Oh yes. I could just visualize Harvey and LBJ forming a kind of a thieves compact between them. Mm-hmm. But I think that LBJ was an opportunist, and if it was not hesitated to get rid of obstacles in his way. I think that his later career exemplified that. The vice president had the most to gain.
Yeah.
And he was in a position where he could bring in people like Cordmeyer and others of interest and get their take on different things, and then in turn issue instructions. there was nobody with the leverage that LBJ had. No competitor. He was the vice president, and if he wanted to get rid of the president, and he had ability to do so by corrupting different people in CIA. And he had to do it with the limitations of CIA because there was no other group that honored, if I could use that term, honored the clandestine limitations the way CIA did. They could do something, turn their back on it, and move on to something else. It was not like a military. There was no accounting in that sense. And we know that LBJ had an unlimited ambition. And we know that he was a corrupt individual. And that the dollar sign was very important to him. As vice president, he didn't have the leverage that a president did or would. And so that was an attractive goal for LBJ. He did not want his career to come to an end as vice president. Who knows about vice presidents? It was very, very important to him that he take advantage as to the extent that he could as vice president, because just a few things had to be accomplished. He had to kill Kennedy, have him killed, I should say, and be guilt-free himself. Then he could go on and do what he wanted to do as President of the United States.